UK. I've been out there since 5:30, and it's Faith's birthday today. I've thrown up, I've cried, I've been pissed off. I've woke up to a bloody elbow in my back, and then last night Amber sent me the pictures for Faith stuff to go up online, and it's like, when did my daughter just become an advert? And it's like people were just not in line with me and my family and what we stand for, what our values and beliefs are. And so I'll show you something while I'm down here as well, in terms, see if I can zoom you in a minute. This is the big ship that you see there. Where is it? That big one there is the Queen's battleship. So the main Queen's ship is in, and the battleships are in, and we've basically, the Queen's battleship is basically her ship. It's her ship that she sends in to go to war, and basically we have a presiding queen here in the UK. And that queen will go to any extent to protect her family, to protect her crown, to protect her sovereign, to protect her every being. That she has the police system to protect the policies that she puts in place that the people have to live by. She has the army that will go to war for her if ever anybody threatens her family, basically. She has legal teams, she has courts, she has guards, she has frontline personal security, and nobody would be able to come up to one of the Queen's children and take them children from her. Nobody is going to go to the Queen while giving birth, and as soon as her baby is born, take that baby from her womb. Nobody's going to do that to her. Nobody's really going to do it to anybody who's high profile. Okay, we've had the Games of Thrones. Georgina, should a baby taken? Been forced adopted. But again, she can't push, she's not a big top celebrity. She's actually now skint, broke, and completely in hiding. As we know, people like Madeleine can have a child go missing and they get to keep all of the others. Okay, if it's genuine and they are genuine, but they actually left their daughter in a hotel. I'm out here at 6:30 in the morning, and all I have ever needed with any of my children is I like to be up at sunrise. I like to be up before my kids, before my partner, before my household, and I like to put myself forward, myself first, basically to get myself set up for the day and get ready. I have a hard enough time as it is with my physical body, and to put my health forward first is a massive, massive, massive big thing. And that's all it was when it comes down to Aaron and Faith. It's all it was with what I'm going through now. All it was just about a mother who was going into hospital, who was going to have to huff and puff and give birth to a little baby girl after already, it's probably going to get very, very windy. I'm just on the coastline at the moment. I might lose my hand. I'm going to sit here with you. And at the end of the day, mothers have died from childbirth for generations and generations, and we live in such a time now that we have doctors and NHS people, and we're so privileged here in the UK that we don't have to worry about our medical insurance, we don't have to worry about all that sort of stuff. We just literally turn up at the hospital, we're in labour, we give birth, and we know that we have a midwife, a student midwife, a doctor, consultant, And if anything goes wrong, we know that they have great medical intervention to be able to, so I'm going to come and sit up here. It might be a bit windy up there. You know, we have this medical system. With me, it was a bit different. I didn't know that I had Ehlers-Danlos syndrome when I was pregnant with Liam and Daniel. And so when I went into premature labour, there wasn't any sort of plan of action. There wasn't any understanding of why I would go into labour early. So I'm going to come and sit up here a minute. If I lose my hat up here, it's going to hurt. Maybe it's a bit too windy. I thought I'd come and show you. If I lose my hat, it's gone there. So, go down where it's not so windy. But today is Faith's birthday, and Faith was the only child sorry guys, it doesn't seem to like my signal coming out of the car still, and it's absolutely just depleted my Sorry guys, it's really not liking my signal this morning. But I was basically saying that Faith was the only pregnancy that I had a proper high risk pregnancy birth plan done. And I'd had so many complications with Daniel, absolute horrendous complications. I was in and out of hospital from sort of 22 weeks. Constantly threatening early labour. I had the injections to mature my son's lungs just in case we went into labour, and yeah, it's lovely. All the runners are coming out now, so all the runners, early morning runners are out, which is absolutely beautiful. I want to sort of go and change all these rocks over and make a bit of a message for Faith, but it's so damn windy and I don't quite know how long I've got, because obviously Dean's at home with the boys and the boys will wake up at some point, and it's fine, Dean's there, but I like to be there for my boys. The whole point is, oh, so windy. Hang on a minute, let me see. I have no idea whether all you'll hear is crack-a-lack-a-lacking of the wind, and it's absolutely windy down here. Let me just get around this corner a minute, because the wind is going to absolutely pulverise me. I'll see if I can just go down here a minute. So bloody windy. Choppy this morning. Choppy the water is. Hang on. I'm coming. I've got loads of tiles at my house that I just need to get something to put it up on. Oh, let's come under here. And I'm going to put the tiles back up here. I don't know if you know, we started this off when we first got here, but it never got finished. So, but with Faith, I mean, I'm just going to walk out this way so I'm off the beaten track. Yeah. Morning. But Faith was the only one, and the challenge with this is because we live under this multi-agency. Whenever it involves a child, obviously that brings children's social care. And unfortunately, children's social care only have 3 tick boxes. And those tick boxes are physical, emotional and sexual abuse. They don't have parent support tick box. They don't have high risk pregnancy. They don't have a mother in bereavement because a child mother may be going through cancer treatment and the mother needs a little bit of support. They don't have these categories. So whoever you are, and whatever situation you're going through, particularly here in the UK, 2 seconds, let me take so it's insulting on the day one. I remember when we were having this meeting, and we were in this social services room, and they were working out who was going to have Aaron, Liam and Daniel while I was in labour with Faith. And obviously Aaron and Faith's father was on methadone, had been drinking, and he wasn't able to take the kids. He had another girlfriend, he was an absolute fucking crackpot. And I needed to know that my children, while I could focus on bringing faith into the world. Now the problem with that then is then 4 years later, 2-3 years later, I then arrive in a different council, and then because you've been known to social care, all of a sudden you're a criminal. And it's like, hang on a minute, the only reason I was known to social care was because my parents lived 500 miles away. Health visitor that did a team around the children meeting. So based on that meeting, sorry, my battery thing just come up. So based on that meeting, it then goes into this tick box, and it becomes child protection of children in need or team around the children. But there's no system that is about family support. And what's annoying me is I'm seeing all these mental health things, but people are not bringing it back to basics, to basic maternity, to basic hormones, to basic, even you get the bit of the baby blues. Everything has to be about mental health. Everything has to be about some form of drama. It can't just be that actually some people have high-risk pregnancies, and some people have to rest. Some people struggle to carry a child into their womb, and they might need a stitch into their cervix to just make sure the baby doesn't come out. And they might just need some childcare for their other children, where the father is at the hospital because he has a right to be there and there's such complexities. But at the end of the day, it's meant to be a loving and supporting environment for bringing a child into the world. It is not meant to be hysterical, is my child going to be taken from me at birth? I will never, ever, ever forget going out of that hospital with Elijah, wondering whether the police were going to come up behind me, wondering whether or not, all of a sudden I was going to be told that my child is going to be taken. And it's like, this is not what we need to live. Battleships and kings and queens and royals and servants and these systems to protect her. I wonder why so many MPs constantly talk about putting more police on the road, more police in the country, more police on the streets. Why would you want to put more police on the streets? The reason they want to put more police on the streets is because they don't feel safe. When you don't feel safe, then you go into battle. And you go into battle to protect yourself, to protect what is yours, to protect your heir, to protect your family. And as a mother, I have every right to do that. And I battle every day, because at the end of the day, Faith is going to wake up this morning, as she's waking up right now, to people who aren't even her mum and dad, to people who are not even her parents, to people who did give birth to her, to people who didn't be subjected to the level of pain or fear. My daughter was called Faith for a reason. My daughter was called Faith because I just had a hemorrhage with Aaron, and literally the year before, and I was told that if I went through this pregnancy, the chances of me hemorrhaging were high. And it was like, so you're being told to terminate your baby, and it's like, no, I'm going to go through this, but I have to have faith. I have to have faith that everything's going to be okay. I'm going to walk out the hospital with my daughter, and even if I do hemorrhage, that I have to put the faith in the medical people around me to make sure everything is okay. Because if you go into that in fear, one, it takes all the joy of your pregnancy away. Two, you're constantly worrying about whether or not your baby's going to make it. And that's not a great place to be in. To be in a place of fear is horrible. I was driving down the road yesterday when my mum had Elijah and Shiloh, and things take time. Building things take time. And it takes equipment. So whether it be Step Up Britain, Forced Adoption Exposed, or whatever, it takes to build in such a way that, you know, this stuff all takes equipment, this stuff takes people, you know. But when you're on your own, and loads of people are on their own, especially if fathers haven't taken responsibility for their children. A lot of fathers, and they do, and I'm sorry dads, you do this, the moment a mother tells you you're pregnant, the first thing you say is, whose is it? You've just ruined any chance of having an actual functioning, healthy relationship with your partner, and probably just alienate yourself from your kids. That's the worst thing to say to a mother. But unfortunately, there are women out there that do this, and here comes the battle, here comes the line. At the end of the day, we know we live in a system where people are abused, we know this, and we have to have some form of people. Oh my God, let me go and sit in it, so my phone gets wet. I've lost my phone. I'm just going to sit in here. Work access only. You know, if I don't know if any of you remember, but when I was down at Trafalgar Square, I had my car with me, and I did a 24-hour stand-up for the homeless, and I had the police come over to take my car, because my car was literally parked at Trafalgar Square. So I did a live, putting my hand on the car and saying, right, if I had the police coming to take my car away from me, how many people would come and sit in my car to make sure the police can't take the car away from me? Well, people aren't going to do that. But what about your child? What about with your child? What if you've got... Oh, sorry, my nose is running so much it's now cold. If you've got a child and your child is going to be taken from you at birth, why? Because of a paperwork error, which is misfeasance in public office, once they know about it. You can actually get a lifetime in prison for misconduct in public office. So all these people that do work for Queen, and they do, social services work for the Queen, the police work for the Queen, they're all here for the crown. They're all here for the sovereign crown. That's why they're here, it's what they're here for. But at the end of the day, the world, as in the whole planet, was divided up between 7 brothers. And the Queen is not that genuine true line. She's not. And that's fact. Because what happens is somebody takes position, governance, and then either their brother thinks that they're a better leader than them, or someone from another land thinks that they can be the king, and then like the film Braveheart, people come along, like what they did here. So literally here, Portsmouth is one big castle. So this is Henry VIII's castle. This was Henry VIII's church. You know, all of these perimeters around here are all of the old original features from the turrets. So basically this was one massive big castle. And then the king lives in the castle, and his knights, so if you remember the good old game of chess, we have the queen, the king, the bishop, yeah? And then we have the castle, which is the castle, the protecting, and then we have the horse, the galleon horses, and then we have the knight. And the knight is what protects the queen, the king, the bishop, and the horse. Then we have the pawns. And the pawns are the soldiers, the police officers, the nurses, the social workers, all of the people that are put out there to work on the front line. But we do it in such a different way now, where I'm walking on an iPhone as I'm talking to you. You know, don't forget the Royal Mail that exists started with pigeon carriers. It actually started with the first ever peace bird with the olive branch, and then we went to pigeon carriers that used to have little tags on their ankles, and then we went to the Royal Mail, which wasn't the big postman pat van that we have these days, and then things like this progressed. But at the end of the day, it's there for the Queen, because the Queen had a load of soldiers that rode on their horses with their armour on and killed people, basically. So all these people, so who's this person? Nelson. Nelson's prayer. May the great God whom I worship grant to my country, for the benefit of Europe in general, a great and glorious victory, and may no misconduct in any one tarnish it, and may humanity after victory be the predominant feature in the British fleet. For myself, individually, I commit my life to him that made me, and my blessing alight on him my endeavours for serving my country faithfully. To him I resign myself, and the just cause which is entrusted in me to defend. Amen, amen, amen. Which is entrusted in me to defend. I have... Oh, look at the date on that. 21st October. What date did I go into the media? 21st of October. And we do. We have a right to defend. So when PC Stephen Lewis and social worker Cheryl Osborne came into that hospital and said that I needed respite, I should have been greeted with kindness, compassion, love. I wasn't. I was being treated like a criminal because my family have a condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and I have been treated like a criminal, and I have been treated like by other people, which is, please be careful with your conduct, yes? So to the person who has the website up, oh mate, you ain't going to heaven. Oh, your karma's huge, because at the end of the day, I am a genuine mother with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I've been telling the truth the whole time. You can't fake it, you can't make it up, you can't change it. It's DNA. It lives in my DNA. It was passed on from one mother to my children. It is an autonomic condition. There's nothing that we can do about it. You can't take faith away from me and the EDS is going to go away. It doesn't work like that. You just put her in another family that isn't going to understand. Such with Aaron and Faith now, Elijah and Shiloh now. You know, nobody understands what those two little boys are going through, who are absolutely amazing and wonderful and an absolute joy. But they have their knocks and their bruises, and you know, Shiloh's cut his chin and he's taken the top off it, and you have to look after these things. This morning, and the difficulty is as well, is when you can't just turn around to your soldiers and to your army and to your force and say, that person's just taken my kids, go kill them and bring my child back. You have to deal with that pain. You have to deal with that anger. You have to deal with that frustration. You have to deal with that paralysing vulnerability that says that you are weak, that says that you can't pick up a gun and shoot somebody in the head that's hurt your child. Every parent says it. Every parent in the world says it. If anybody hurts my kids, I'll kill them. The reality is that most of us are kind, caring, loving people and couldn't actually do that. And one of the main first commandments is thou shalt not kill. We were not meant to go to war for a queen. We were not meant to serve in this way. We were not meant to kill people. And social services were not put here to take children away and cause horrendous trauma. Horrendous, and it is. And this is what we've got to show. This is what people are really scared to actually relieve. How it's affected them, because it's so hard to explain. You can't even explain it to your closest friend. You can't even explain it to your family. You can't even explain it to your partner. It's something that you just go through, and it's horrible. It's horrible because you have to wake up today and it's Faith's birthday. Woo, woo, woo! Celebrate! Yay! It's Faith's birthday. But then you've got to grieve and mourn waking up with me in her home. I don't know where she is. Probably in somewhere in Wales. It was North Wales, North Wales Adoption Agency in Wrexham that adopted them. They could have been put anywhere. They could be around the road. Fuck me, they could be living in that house across there for all I know. Because the majority of adoption placements have ended up halfway down the road from where they were originally. Or all the way away from where they were originally was. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough at all. It's called social care. Yeah? Social care. It's like I said to Dean, I was sort of bolted out of bed in quite a harsh way this morning. But I'm up, I'm here, and I've done it. And, you know, it's not the greatest of sunsets. But what is wrong